Welcome. You're tuned to the Urban Affairs program. It's time to get up for Urban Perspectives with your host, Pete Rhodes.
Welcome. You're watching Urban Perspectives. I'm your host, Pete Rhodes. On this edition of Urban Perspectives, we spotlight Twin Cities women and their awesome contributions in the urban community. Today is Ladies' Day on this edition of Urban Perspectives. My first guest, Lisa Moy, is one of the top female announcers at the urban radio station KMOJ 89.9 FM here in the Twin Cities. Now, traditionally, women in media have had an uphill climb to gain respect in this male-dominated industry. Here to discuss her trials and her triumphs as a woman in broadcasting, please welcome the lovely Miss Lisa Moy. How you doing, Lisa?
I'm good. How are you?
I am happy to have you here on the show. I've been listening to you for a number of years.
Wow.
And you impressed me, and you impressed this community obviously, because you're doing a great job over there.
Thank you.
Talk to us, Lisa, about being in this field of broadcasting. It's a hard job. Most folk don't realize what it really takes. How do you do it? How do you navigate it?
Oh man, how do I do it? I'm very spiritual. I believe in God, and I believe that everything that I do, that He's guiding me. And I'm myself. I'm just myself. I bring myself to the table. I put my best foot forward, and I just attack everything in that mind frame. And I'm always positive, and that's just how I get through my day and get through my challenges and get through the difficult task of radio, because sometimes it can be difficult.
Now, radio sitting down for 4 hours takes a lot of preparation. How do you do that?
Well, it's always, it's fast paced. So you're checking different media outlets, different news sources. Social media plays a big part. You're on Twitter, you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook. And you just basically gather all the news and entertainment, and you figure out what your community and what your demographic is, what's important to them, and you just relay it to them in your own way.
Speaking of importance,
why
is it so important to have that female voice on radio?
Oh, wow. It's very important. We're dealing with a lot of issues and a lot of different situations. We have women that are leaders of households. Women are holding down 2 or 3 jobs. They're graduating at the top of their classes. Like, our voice is very important. So I think it's ludicrous not to have a female represent that. And who, you know, we're relatable. I'm relatable to another female, so why wouldn't I be on the radio for the women's perspective?
Yeah, you and I both come from major markets here in the United States, and Philly.
Oh yeah, big ups to Philly.
Big market.
Yes.
Some would say you're too young to be doing what you do in this marketplace. How did you get started? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay, I was working at a all-girls summer activity program center, and I wanted to do more volunteering. And Q-Bear, who everyone knows Q-Bear, he's been at the station for a very long time. He used to dress up, and he was Santa Claus at this place that I worked at. And he's like, you know what, you have a good personality, you should come to the station and volunteer and work with some young women. And I said, that's pretty cool, I think I'll do that. So I went to KMOJ, and Kelvin Quarles, who is our general manager, he thought I won tickets. He didn't know what I was up there for. I told him I didn't win any tickets, and he took me back in the office, and I told him I wanted to volunteer. He thought it was interesting. He thought, because I was young, he thought it was fascinating that I wanted to volunteer. And by the end of that meeting, he had offered me a position to be on the radio, and within 2 weeks I was on the radio, and I've been there for almost 5 years.
When you started, was it difficult to find your voice, how you wanted to sound and be?
It was, I wouldn't say it was difficult, it was very intimidating. Because I didn't have the training that I thought I needed to be on the radio. I thought you had to go to school, and I thought you had to be an intern, and how I fell into it, you know, it was just an interesting story. So it wasn't difficult to find my voice. I feel like I didn't have the platform at that time for my voice to be heard because I was so new. And I was very fortunate to learn from the people that I did learn from, who cultivated me and helped me get my voice heard and gave me that platform to get my voice heard.
You know, you were part of a fantastic morning team.
Yeah.
The named after yourself morning show, and but now you've moved to a new position.
Yes.
What time slot?
It's middays from 10 to 2. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
That's great. And I know that it's important to you, Lisa, to be in the community, and you do a coordinating services project.
Yes.
In the part-time over at Walker West.
Yeah, I love Walker West. I love music. I'm surrounded by music all the time, of course, from KMOJ, being on the radio station, and then Walker West, because the children, they learn music there. And I just love it. Walker West has been around for about 20 some odd years. Reverend Walker and Mr. West, they started something so magical years ago, and they grew a seed that has blossomed into something so substantial in that Selby community. And you just will be amazed at some of the talent that comes out of there. It's crazy. So I love working at Walker West. I love the music. I love what they stand for, and I love their mission. I absolutely do.
Yeah. So you're comfortable in the new position. We're glad you are there. We're listening middays now with Lisa Moy.
Yay!
And I'm so happy that you came here and gave them a little insight on behind the scenes with the radio station. So Lisa Moy, thank you so much for being here on this edition of
I love this. Your new home is beautiful.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. This was fantastic as we talk about the exciting and important community program for young women with Neda Kellogg. She's the founder and executive director of Project Diva. It's coming up next here on Urban Perspectives. This is Pete Rhodes introducing Continental Diamond in St. Louis Park, voted by Minnesota Bride magazine as the best jeweler for 3 years in a row. Continental Diamond in St. Louis Park is homegrown, and you can count on them for extraordinary commitment to value, service, and selection with one of the largest selections of diamonds, gold bracelets, earrings, wedding and engagement rings, and the best selection of watches for her and for him. Continental Diamond. Come in for that special jewelry gift for the season and get the deal of a lifetime at Continental Diamond.
Young Americans between the ages of 13 and 24 are contracting HIV at a rate of 2 per hour. Knowledge is power. Guard yourself.
Declare war on this disease. Get tested and know your status.
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 Remember, a moment of pleasure can cause a lifetime of pain.
My health care, I'd make it so I had options.
Yep, we like options.
I'd also make my health plan simple. I don't want to get bogged down trying to figure out Medicare. I've already got plenty on my plate. Speaking of which... What?
Seriously?
Great benefits and a simple, affordable approach to Medicare. You care. Healthcare that starts with you.
Twin Cities. Tune into the new social network, Comcast Channel 937 BMA, for the best in local and national artists in R&B, hip-hop, gospel, jazz, 24 hours a day. The new social network is BMA, Channel 937 on Comcast, featuring faces, places, spaces, local news, national views, and music all day. Tune into the new social network, Comcast BMA, Channel 937, and watch what we play. My next guest has dedicated herself to the empowerment of young women through a special program she founded called Project Diva. Please welcome Ms. Neda Kellogg. Neda, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Congratulations to you and Ms. Kim.
Well, thank you so very much, and thank you for being here on this program as we try and expand on different things in our community that's important, and certainly you are doing an important piece in our community. So
thank you.
My first question to you is, how did you get started with the Project Diva program? How did you put it all together, and what is its real purpose?
Well, Pete, my mother has mental illness. It's called catatonic schizophrenia, and it started when I was around 12 years old. Mm-hmm. And I just remember going through my formative years, middle school and high school, with no one ever asking me how I felt about it. And so moving to Minnesota from Omaha, Nebraska, I ended up working for Dunwoody Academy, and that's where we lost our principal in the first couple of months. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to surround the girls, or I wanted to embrace the girls, and so I asked Mr. Mahmoud, who was our interim principal mm-hmm. at the time, if I could bring a girls group to the school. And he said, please. So from there, the girls from February to June of that year, the girls had astounding growth. And so they asked me to bring it, the girls asked me to bring it back. And so I aligned it with the school year. We've just been going ever since.
Wow.
So it's clearly to make sure that the girls are okay.
Now, you work with a lot of partners, like you just talked about Professor Mahmoud El-Kati, one of our elders in the community. And how important is it to work with these partners, and who are some of the others that you do these fantastic things with?
Okay, it was Mr. Mahmoud from Harvest Prep.
Yeah, oh, Mr.
Yes,
Eric Mahmoud.
Eric Mahmoud.
Okay, great.
But the Women's Club is one of our amazing partners due to the fact that they allow for our girls to come over to the mansion and have fine dining or get dining etiquette along with amazing speakers and network with the women over there. So they're one of our amazing partners. Minneapolis Park Board, they house us every session, every Saturday for 10 months. They allow for our girls to be there. And then the POLADs just signed on by allowing us to have a boutique over off of Emerson and Lowry for the next year or so we can bring some amazing etiquette programming to not just our girls, but to our community.
You know, you have a fantastic motto. It's empowering and motivating one young lady at a time.
Yes.
Kind of expound a little bit on that, and how did you come up with it?
Well, the growing up, there were women, or who have been women, who have stood in the gap for me individually, like really touched my heart. And so wanting to make sure that we touch the individual girl, we take in 30 girls a year, and that's to make sure that we touch a life, and that with all the women that come in and actually mentor and coach our girls, that they actually are touching their lives and moving the girls forward through their next levels.
So when you do that, and when you put together programming, how has it affected you?
It's therapy for me, because I'm still going through a lot of the things that with my mother. You know, she still has the illness. I'm the only one who helps her, and so the sisterhood is truly therapeutic for me, as well as the girls. You know, so they empower me and we empower them.
So you do this monthly session that I'm hearing about, where you kind of bring them together. How important is that, and what happens when you come together?
Well, we go from August to May, and it's every Saturday for 4.5 hours, and we do it by coaching. Each girl gets coaches every Saturday. So each Saturday is geared towards a coach. They have a financial coach, they have an image coach, they have a career coach, and then they have an academic coach, and a health and wellness coach. And through all of those coaching, the group coaching, the girls get what they need, but then the Diva consultants, Kia Allen, Premium Diva and Company, she's our image coach, and she allows for us to pull together all the women, the Diva consultants, and they individually mentor the girls, but also group mentor the girls. And so every Saturday we're in the trenches with the babies.
How does it impact them? I mean, I asked you about you, and it's something that gives you strength. How do you see it impacting the female, the young ladies?
It lets them know that someone cares. Individuals care, a phone call away. You know, when they're in those decisive moments and they know that they might have made that wrong moment, that wrong choice, they know that at that moment they can call us to come and get them, to make sure that we get them out of that choice. And so I think just knowing that they have that individual person to call is what's most important to them, or that individual person to talk to throughout the week, that is most important to them.
I'm sure there's been times when some come through the door that they didn't think they were supposed to be there, and but you saw something inside them. You've had some success stories like that.
Yes, yes, we have quite a few girls in college, actually coming out of their 4th years this year.
That's
so we'll have some
fantastic.
success stories there. So yes, we've definitely impacted our babies.
Well, how do you get involved? If you're a young lady and you want to be involved in Project Divas, how do you get involved?
Go to our website and we'll send you the application, and then you come on board. We do family interviews, and the girls are in.
Most importantly, business people, professionals, you need their support.
Yes.
How do they get involved?
We are always looking for career mentors, because the girls come in individually and tell us who they want to become. It's a lot like Ashley said earlier, like finding how she, her way, not really, knowing at 7 that's like when she had her voice. Our girls know that young, and so we want to make sure that they're empowered at early ages to be able to be mentored in those areas, so that they go that way. So we are always looking for career mentors. So they hit the website or call me individually, and we get them involved. And then businesses, we're always looking for support financially or volunteer-wise, most definitely.
And we just want to end this by saying I really have been watching you, and my partner and wife, Kim, have been watching you. We support what you do. And we just thank you so much for what you do, because it's so important to the young ladies and our community overall to have such a positive role model in it. So Neda, Kellogg, thank you for being part of this edition of Urban Perspectives, and we'll be back with you. Okay.
Thank you, and Ms. Kim also for supporting me all this time.
Yeah, our pleasure, our pleasure. Neda Kellogg. And for more information on Project Diva, you can visit projectdivas.com. And again, we want to thank Neda Kellogg for being part of this program on Urban Perspectives. If you're interested in sponsoring or becoming a part of Project Diva, you can also contact Mrs. Kellogg at 763-280-3482 or visit projectdivas.com. Thank you again, Neda.
Thank you.
Each week, Urban Perspectives will spotlight a shining star, the next generation of leaders who contribute to the diverse fabric of our communities. This week's shining star is an up-and-coming producer, photographer, and filmmaker. Let's meet Bianca Rhodes, our Urban Perspectives Shining Star of the Week.
My name is Bianca Rhodes, and I'm a producer, a filmmaker, and a photographer. I attended St. Cloud State University, Go Huskies, and I was highly involved in the mass communications program with an emphasis in television production. How people know my father, his name is Jellybean Johnson to the rest of the world. He is a drummer for the Morris Day and The Time, who of course were featured on the famous film Purple Rain with Prince. So that is how people know my dad. I aspire to be a successful business owner of a production company. Currently, that's what I'm doing, so I'm really excited about that. It is called Be Lovely Productions. My top projects that I have going on right now, the one that is most near and dear to my heart is the Digital Divide Documentary Empowerment Project. I teach Northside youth basic video production skills to create a documentary in regards to the North Side, a positive story on the North Side. So that's one of my most important projects that's going on right now. I'm also producing a television show called The League of Enlightenment, and it has 3 different hosts, and it's fully interactive on television, online, and on social media, all at the same time. So I'm really excited about that. I am the associate producer for Urban Perspectives, also known as UP. And I guess my biggest dream for that show is for it to be nationwide, for it to go above and beyond Minnesota. I know it has that potential, and I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much about producing and more about the process of live to tape television. So it's wonderful, it's a lot of fun, and I'm excited about it.
With nominations and awards to her credit, join us for a personal conversation with Maria Issa next on Urban Perspectives. This is Pete Rhodes introducing Continental Diamond in St. Louis Park, voted by Minnesota Bride magazine as the best jeweler for 3 years in a row. Continental Diamond in St. Louis Park is homegrown, and you can count on them for extraordinary commitment to value, service, and selection with one of the largest selections of diamonds, gold bracelets, earrings, wedding and engagement rings, and the best selection of watches for her and for him. Continental Diamond. Come in for that special jewelry gift for the season and get the deal of a lifetime at Continental Diamond.
Young Americans between the ages of 13 and 24 are contracting HIV at a rate of 2 per hour. Knowledge is power. Guard yourself.
Declare war on this disease. Get tested and know your status.
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 Remember, a moment of pleasure can cause a lifetime of pain.
My health care, I'd make it so I had options.
Yep, we like options.
I'd also make my health plan simple. I don't want to get bogged down trying to figure out Medicare. I've already got plenty on my plate. Speaking of which... What?
Seriously? Great benefits and a simple, affordable approach to Medicare. You care. Health care that starts with you.
Twin Cities. Tune into the new social network, Comcast Channel 937 BMA, for the best in local and national artists in R&B, hip-hop, gospel, jazz, 24 hours a day. The new social network is BMA, Channel 937 on Comcast, featuring faces, places, spaces, local news, national views, and music all day. Tune into the new social network, Comcast BMA Channel 937, and watch what we play. She is a National Hispanic Leadership Institute Rising Star singer, a songwriter, actress, and community activist. Please welcome to Urban Perspective, Maria Isa.
Hi.
How you doing, Maria?
I'm doing well.
You know, I like rolling that off my tongue, Maria Isa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thanks for being here with us, and thanks for all the work that you do in the community. I've noticed in seeing you around and doing things, music and community, that music and culture are important to you. How do they both play off each other, and how do they influence who you are?
Definitely is the biggest influence, my culture and my music. You know, being born in Minnesota to Puerto Ricans that migrated by Puerto Rico, New York, the drum, you know, and recognizing the rhythm of the tribes, because I think that's the importance of where my music stands. There's a heartbeat. It's that drum, whether it may be Latin soul, R&B, or me being a lyricist in hip hop. We all are centered towards that drum, and that is what represents my music, being that Soto Rico, Minnesota, Puerto Rico. It's all about cultura. It's all about culture.
Soto Rico, yeah. I like that. I like you spoke just briefly there of the hip hop influence. I know hip hop has influenced a lot of individuals. How does it influence your music? And then to get the style that you have, and then who are some of the personal people that Maria really likes?
You know, hip hop influence is just, you know, it's the urban. It's the urban culture of contemporary, you know, lifestyle. Being that hip hop was created by Black and Puerto Ricans, it's just natural. You know, it's like I said, it comes from that drum beat. And then the lyricism, how it plays into an effect is that being a woman gave me an opportunity to not just have to be the B-girl and finding a way to break into the scene, but also to pick up a mic and use my voice as a representative of a message carrier, you know. So my influences are Afro-Latin jazz, going back to Fania All-Stars with Eddie Palmieri and the Palmieri brothers. Charlie Palmieri just got his street in New York City, so salute to that. And being in Minnesota, you know, the funk, all the purpleness, I like to say. So and growing up seeing Sheila E. and Lisa and the influence of Black and brown culture, and how proud it is to be from Minnesota, to carry that and have that influence. That's where it comes from, you know. It's a blend. It's like a blend of a little bit of everything. It's like a jambalaya, like a asopao, we say. Throw a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and that's what you find within my music, I like to say.
I like it. I like it. I'm sure a lot of others like it. That's evident. You have a new project, Valley of the Dolls.
Yeah.
Now that's an iconic 70s kind of movie.
Definitely.
I don't think you were around in the 70s too much. If so, you were really little. So tell us about the play on Valley of the Dolls and how you perceive this project to be and how we should perceive it.
Well, I grew up with the influences of my mother and the women, strong women around me in the community, and the feminist movement, I should say. And Valley of the Dolls the album is reflected upon, you know, influenced definitely by the book and the history of women having a stand, being able to decide what they want to do in their lives, whether it is being in the entertainment industry, being in the medical field, and regardless of what position, we all struggle through the same things. And we all have the opportunity now in my generation to knock down those barricades. And the influence of Valley of Dolls, the 70s, I mean, our style, you can see it. You could see it through even iconic, you know, professional singers such as like Beyonce, the hairdo, the styling. all of that is from those strong women of the 70s, of the 60s, that opened up those doors for us to be able to be here, sitting here, writing, rapping, dancing, directing. And it's just more of my input of Valley of the Dolls, where it is now in 2014. We still have the same struggles, but we can overcome them by networking together. I mean, look at all the wonderful women and artists in this community in the Twin Cities. Yeah, that's my favorite part, is that we all can get on stage, we all can collaborate, we all can jam, and at the end of the day, open up another opportunity for the young women, the next generation of dolls.
What can we see you on the screen? I know you're an actress too. Tell us briefly, what can we possibly look to see you coming up?
You can see me, I'm in a movie called Strike One that's going to be released later this year. I'm actually heading back to LA to get the first screening of it. So I'm pretty excited, and you know, we'll bring it to the Twin Cities, and I'm going to be doing some more acting and actually getting into a role of screenwriting right now in Los Angeles with my fellow Villa Rosa band member Muja Messiah. So it's been pretty cool.
Fantastic. Well, you're cool.
Thank you.
And what you're doing is cool, and we appreciate you being here on this edition of Urban Perspective, giving us an inside look at Maria Issa.
Gracias.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Gracias.
you.
Yes, and it has been a gas, no doubt about it. I want to thank you for watching the Urban Perspectives. And I want to thank my guests, Lisa Moy of KMOJ, Neda Kellogg of Project Diva, and the talented Lisa was here, but this is Maria Issa. So thank you so very much as well. And I want to thank my audience. I want to thank you for getting in and tuning in to Urban Perspective. And we'll leave you with the pictures of the week from the Project Diva 7th Annual Style Show. I'm your host, Pete Rhodes, and we'll see you next week.